Hello, everybody. Welcome. Kimberly Maska here, founder of Spiritual Biz Bootcamp. And quickly, I want to talk about money and being stuck in the matrix, because this is an interesting topic where we always know we have this money issue, right? About money and keeping us stuck, and we don't have money, and we're in lack, and we're in scarcity, and we're trying to find the money, and all this stuff that comes up around money. And it's very fascinating to me because we seem to think that money, for some reason, keeps us in, like, how do I want to put it? When people talk about money, they're usually saying, oh, well, let's get out of the matrix. Like, the money's keeping you there. The money's holding us down. And these are all the issues around the money and the matrix. And I think what's really happening, though, is that it's the debt. I mean, I'm going to call it the debt matrix, because it's the debt that keeps us in the underfoot of the system, right? When we're in the system and we're having issues. Hey, Alistair. Oh, and Farita's here too. And Teresa and Cindy. Hi, guys. So we're talking about money, and we're talking about the matrix, and we're talking about debt, because this money thing keeps coming up over and over, right? This is a spiritual entrepreneurs. It's amazing what the issues are that pop up around money. And so I was just actually at a conference not too long ago, and I'll be speaking at a conference in August up in Denver with Corey Good's people. And so it was interesting. The people that were there at this last conference were talking a lot about, the control of the systems that be, and how do we beat them, and how do we get out of the matrix of this whole money thing, and that money is bad. And there's this kind of like money snobbery. I'm going to call it spiritual snobbery around money and spirituality. And it was really fascinating to me to be able to listen to these people and be so like hell-bent on saying, let's fight against them and use it against them and against the whole matrix thing, and being able to, against the cabal. They went so far as they were talking down that road of stuff. And they were talking about how to make as little money as possible and how to save it so you don't have to pay taxes to it and everything. And so to me, that was coming from such a place of scarcity. It was a little disheartening. It was a little sad, actually, to hear these people about how they were literally living a life of struggle because they didn't want to contribute to taxes and the cabal of the system. And so it really got me to thinking, as I was listening to their plights and their stories, and how they were like almost penny pinching so that they didn't have to be involved in the system. And what really kind of came to light for me, and this was kind of actually a download I got the other day, was that when we are in that situation of scarcity and trying to say, like, I'm not going to get involved in the system, and I'm going to, try to live off the grid, which is nothing really wrong with that if you're living from a place of power. But when we're living from a place of scarcity because we're afraid to be part of the system, it really creates more issues. Hello, Alistair. How are you doing? And Emmeline. Sorry, I got that wrong. And Dawn's here too. So when we're looking at these people, again, I was hearing them really talking about like just skimping on everything and not making money so they didn't have to contribute to the system. I think is creating more scarcity than it needs to. And it's also putting them in a low vibration, because what it's doing is that it's getting them into the fight against them. And it's also getting them to a point of scarcity to figure out, like, they're become obsessed with how to actually not make money so they don't have to belong to the system. And so part of the information I received the other day was that whole idea of trying to fight against them is actually what's keeping them in the matrix. And here's what I mean by that. We all know the matrix, right? I'm assuming I know everybody here knows what I'm talking about. And so when you're here in the matrix, when having that awareness of it, so is great. But then how do we get out of it? How do we release ourselves from it so that we're not stuck in it? When we start talking about money, that we become stuck in it when we talk about it from like a scarcity standpoint. So how do you get true freedom out of the matrix? It's true connection with source, right? When we're fully connected with source, God, creator, universe, the one mind, whatever name we want to give it. When we are fully connected with source, we're fully abundant. And when we're fully connected with source, we're out of the matrix. It's like the only time that we can really get out of it, right? Because we're here, we were born into it. We all have birth certificates, which means we're all logged into the whole process. There's really nothing you can do about it in that way at the moment, other than raise your vibration to the absolute highest level, have full connection with source all time, which allows you to be the most powerful creator you can be, and then you're free from it. Because we're only stuck in the matrix when we feel helpless and we feel like we can't create. When we lose our ability to be the the conscious creators that we are. Well, let me rephrase that. Whether we're conscious or unconscious, we're creating our reality, right? So let's consciously do it. So when we consciously create our reality, that's when we're breaking free from the matrix. We're causing the blips in the matrix from actually breaking free from it. And that breaking free is by being fully connected with source and being the powerful creator that you were put here on this planet to be. You're not put here to struggle. You're not put here to just observe and repeat back what you see. You were put here to create. And when we create, that's when the universe source expands, right? The universe like lives through our creative process. Source is within all of us. It's flowing through us. And when we create and expand, it expands. And that's what it wants us to do. It doesn't want us to play small. It doesn't want us to be in scarcity. It doesn't want like all this other nonsense that appears to us in the reality of the matrix to be, right? It wants us to really step out. It wants us to expand who we are. And when we can expand who we are and expand our experience, that's when source thrives. So if we really want to break free from the matrix, if they want the money to keep us out of that, we have to create abundance. Because when we're fully connected to source and we're full of conscious creators, we realize that abundance is absolutely everywhere. I was telling the story in boot camp the other day that we were looking about when people are in scarcity mode. I'm like, all you have to do is for a minute, look outside your window. I laugh out here. I have all these crazy squirrels, and I call them, they say they're little chubby squirrels. I have these little chubby squirrels running around, which shows me that there is abundance everywhere. If you look at the birds in the sky, the birds are not, starving and trying to find food and fighting with each other. They may fight for mating reasons, but they're abundant. There's food everywhere for them. The universe has created abundance. The only time there's no abundance is when man gets in the way with our thoughts. When we start thinking negative things, when we are not mastering who we are and we lower our vibration, then we just attract more of that. And when we attract more of that, then it creates, it's like this big piling on of stuff, right? You're in a low vibration, you start worrying, and more bad stuff happens and more bad stuff happens. So how do we break free of that? How do we break free of the matrix? Is that you have to raise your vibration. You have to stay in full connection with source at all times. When you're in full connection with source, you become a conscious creator. When you become a conscious creator, you create your abundance. If you are not abundant and you are not finding the abundance that you're looking for, the only thing holding you up is your connection with source. You're not connected. You've completely disconnected. The minute you worry about money, disconnected from source. The minute you sit in scarcity and how am I going to pay that bill? Disconnected from source. The minute you're worried about anything around money and abundance, you've completely disconnected from source. And that's not why we're here. We know that the full connection is what we're here to be in that glory, to really live what is our birthright, which is the abundance that's due us, that we can create. It's right there for the taking. But the second you feel like a negative thing about, how am I going to pay that? Oh, this is coming up. Like all of that stuff. When that happens, it's just because you've disconnected from source. So you've got to go back and be like, wait a minute, why am I worried about this one thing when source is everywhere? Source is flowing through us. It is us. It's the same energy that has the planet spinning out in the universe. It's the same energy that created us. It's the same energy that is money. It's the exact same thing. So when you can bring it all together and realize that how we're connected and it's the same energy, then we just have to vibrate at the point where abundance just flows to us. And when you can master that, then you're abundant all the time. People tell me I'm a master, they'll say, I'm a master manifester, but yet they don't have any money. I'm like, no, you're not a master manifester. Until the mastering of it is that you're abundant all the time. You're always connected with source. You give everything over to source and you don't worry. So if you're finding yourself like stuck and worried about money, you're choosing to be stuck in the matrix as well. Because the matrix is what shows us the reality of what's there. And that's part of what controls us. And you want to break free from the matrix? Create abundance. Get in touch with source. Be able to be connected with source and know that source is going to bring you absolutely everything that you need in every point in space and time. It just is. That is like a universal law. It's that connection with source that brings everything to us. But it's our thoughts. It's the fact that we get lazy with our thoughts, that we aren't mastering who we are, that creates disconnect, that creates a scarcity, that keeps us more locked into the matrix. So if you want to get out of the matrix, Connect with source. Connect with them continually. Do the thing that you love. Create the business you desire. Get over the fear of in the space of lack of being stuck in the matrix and be able to step out and do something amazing. That's what I do in Spiritual Biz Bootcamp, is that I'm showing people how to shift their vibration around money to be able to create the business around the thing that they love, so that they're living their purpose and they're breaking free from the matrix because they're able to create the abundance. It's amazing. It's like truly incredible to watch what people are doing. They come in through boot camp, they're a little unsure. We figure out exactly who they're serving, how they're serving. They go through the process, they open up, they shift their vibration. And when you shift your vibration, you're able to break free of the matrix because you're able to create the abundance that keeps you connected with source all the time. Not the abundance keeps you connected, but you're connected with source, which is why you get abundance. So that being said, break free of the matrix. Live the life you're supposed to live. Be able to have the abundance that is your birthright. Do it by living your purpose. Do it by stepping out and serving. And when you serve, that abundance shows up because money is love. So when your clients love what you're doing, they will do an energy exchange with you and they will pay you. It's a beautiful, beautiful process. And if you're ready to change your life and really step out and break free of the matrix where you are right now, then let me know. Just take a look at it. I'll post the link for my free training for Spiritual Biz Bootcamp. See if Spiritual Biz Bootcamp is right for you. It changes lives every day. It shifts your vibration around money so that you can create the abundance that you desire. So until next time, yep, Frida and the Chubby Squirrels, we were talking about that in bootcamp. Frida's in bootcamp. Hello, Stephanie. And Mark Fulcher is in here. I haven't seen you. How are you? Bootcamp graduate. Danny, just finished talking with Danny and Terry. All sorts of good people. Shelby, bootcamp graduate too. Cheryl's awesome. Cheryl just got back from an amazing trip in France. Very jealous. She's going to be doing so Cheryl's about to join Mastery, which is my year-long program. And then she's going to be creating a course where you go out and actually out on a cruise for 2019, which would be amazing. Traveling the world, sharing her gifts. So, and Mr. Merwitz was in here too. Carrie, all sorts of people. Awesome. Great guys. Well, you guys all have a beautiful day, and I will post the link in here, see if Spiritual Biz Bootcamp is right for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.